you have now learned the secret. I've given you the keys on how to use social media in 2021 and beyond. In this masterclass, you are going to learn how to use social media in 2021 and beyond. I'm going to teach you techniques that if you want to become a streamer, if you're a coach, if you are an author, if you are a speaker, if you're an entrepreneur, you want to learn these secrets so that you can make 2021 your breakout year and use it in 2021 and beyond. So what are we talking about? Like I said, we're talking about how to use social media in 2021. And before we get into that, I just want to preface that this is live. I'm teaching this. I don't know when you're watching this. This is probably a recording now, but I wanted to put this up to make sure that this was seen. Because this information is really, really timely and really powerful. And I want you to get this information. This is real powerful stuff. I've had clients and students beg me not to teach this anymore because they're using it with great success, and they do not want me to share it. But guess what? I'm sharing it and I'm putting it out there. So without further ado, let's get started. What are we going to be talking about? Well, let me show you. I'm going to be using what I like to refer to as the notepad of knowledge. And these are the 4 social media platforms we're going to be talking about. Now, in no particular order, I have them laid out, but in my opinion, at this time for what we're talking about, these are the 4 most relevant ones. I know I left some out, okay? I know I didn't put Twitter. I know I didn't put LinkedIn. I know I didn't put TikTok, and all the other ones. I could have included them, but I specifically chose these for a reason. So the 4 that we're going to be talking about are Twitch, Facebook, Instagram, and finally YouTube. Okay, so let's start with Twitch. And let me just get my notepad up so as I'm typing, you can see. I wonder, can I move this and have no problem? Perfect. Just wanted to make sure that I can move it and have no issues, but you still see it. Okay, so we've got that up there. So let's talk about this. Let me just put this other one in place. All right, so Twitch. What is Twitch? Twitch is, if you didn't know, it's the premier live streaming service. Of all the social media platforms I have listed here, Twitch is by far the #1 live streaming platform. So what do you go to Twitch for? Live content. Okay, if you want to watch live content 24/7, Twitch is the place to go. Now, what's Facebook all about? Now, Facebook, in my opinion, what they do really, really well is community. They do that really, really well. So what do I mean by that? So I mean, if you want to do something and bring a group of people together for a cause, for example, like breast cancer awareness, in my opinion, Facebook does community very well, and you can do some really powerful things on Facebook. They do community really, really well. So now let's move into Instagram. Instagram, for lack of a better term, is all about the Instagram lifestyle. What do I mean by that? What I mean by that is they're all about the way things look. They're about money. They're about fashion. They're about health. It's a lifestyle. Okay. Let me go a little bit deeper. If I was going to make a post on Facebook talking, for example, about a new camera I had on Facebook, I could say, hey, here's a new camera I have. I'm using for example, the camera I'm using right now. I'm using the Canon M50 right now, and I love the camera. I'm using this particular lens, and it does this and that and blah, blah, blah. On Instagram, what I would do is take a still shot, and I would get another Canon M50 and I would hold it in my hand, and I would probably be like on location at a very exotic place, just holding the camera, and the caption would be Canon M50 Dream Machine. You see the two differences in that? On Facebook, I'm going to make a post more tailored. It's not so hypey. Okay, that's the point. It's not so hypey. It's more, hey, this is what I'm talking about. I'm talking about this camera, and you can go into detail. You can do the exact same thing on Instagram, but if you look at Instagram, that's not how it is. Instagram is laid out in such a way where it's a lifestyle. Everything that you see on there, they're all perfect pictures, perfect poses, perfect bodies, perfect cars, lots of money. That's pretty much the look and feel of Instagram. Nothing against Instagram. I'm not trying to throw any shade against Instagram. I'm just trying to give you the differences between Facebook and Instagram. And by the way, if you did not know, Instagram is owned by Facebook. Okay? Because I know a lot of the younger generation, like my son, for example, says he would never be caught dead on Facebook, but he loves Instagram. And I just have a nice little chuckle with that because I know Facebook owns Instagram. So he's still on Facebook. They just call it Instagram. Okay. And lastly, we're going to talk about YouTube. Now, YouTube, one of the things about YouTube that I like so much, and I'm just looking at my notes while I'm talking to make sure that I got this. Instagram, they're about entertainment and how to content. That's pretty much, and I spelled entertainment incorrectly. Let me fix that. Entertainment and how to content. Now, can you find other information on there? Absolutely. You can find gaming. You can find just about anything you want to look on there. You can find music videos, but that falls into entertainment. But the primary two categories on YouTube is entertainment and how-to content. And by the way, I know you might be taking notes. I want you to stay present with me and just listen to this information. I'm going to provide you with a link later on where you can get everything that I'm typing here. I'm going to put it in a nice cheat sheet for you. That's all nice with everything, including the strategies that I lay out for you. So don't worry about taking notes. I'll give you a link later on that you just grab this and you've got it. You can just take this and run with it. Okay. I want to make this masterclass the best that I can on this. And I specifically want to put this out there so everyone gets a hold of it because I feel this information needs to be out there. I'm this passionate about it. And I think it's this important because it's just, we all want to change. We all want to change. And we all want to be heard, and we all want to be able to get our voices out there. We want to get more leads. We want to get more sales. It doesn't matter if you want to be a YouTuber or a streamer. Like I said, if you're an author or a coach or a speaker, it doesn't matter. Everybody pretty much has the same ambitions. You want to try and get in front of a wider audience. And how do you do that? By leveraging social media. Because the one thing I know that is very powerful is if you learn how to use these platforms and give each one of these platforms what they want, they in turn will give you what you want. So that's what this whole thing is about. Okay, so Twitch, live streaming, the #1 live streaming platform on the internet at this time, period, hands down. #2, Facebook. Their strength, one of the strengths is they're really good at community. 3, Instagram. All about that Instagram lifestyle. And 4, YouTube, entertainment and how-to content. They're also, let me write this down. Video on demand. So you can watch it at your leisure, whenever you want to watch it. That's one of its biggest strengths. Okay. So let's talk a little bit more. I'm going to break down on each one of these So let's start with Twitch. What is one of its strengths? One of its strengths, if I can spell today, it's free to join. Free to join. Don't have to pay anything. Just sign up for an account and you're on. But there's a little bit of a hurdle with them because you need to have everything in place to be able to live stream. So you need cameras, microphones, lighting. Okay, so I guess I will put that under, I'll put it under cons. You need equipment, lighting, mics, computer. You have to have some kind of computer to make this whole thing work. The software to live stream. There is a bit of a learning curve with it. You just can't just jump right in and do it. Okay, so you have to have all these things in place. The other con, because I have been on Twitch for about 4 or 5 years, and I've had different accounts. None of the accounts were under my name. So if you go to look it up, you're not going to find me that way. I have had several different accounts in different markets doing different things. Just give me a second while I take a drink. You got to stay hydrated. And they're probably going to be doing that a lot throughout this training. So Twitch will let you sign up for free. You can start streaming. And one of the things that people want to do so much with Twitch is they believe that they can make money on Twitch because they have seen so many of their favorite streamers do that. And then that is 100% absolutely true. One of the things that I can no longer say is, I remember back when I was a kid, my parents would say things to me like, turn off those games. They're going to rot your brain. You're never going to make anything of yourself playing video games. You can't say that today. If you try to say that today, the kids are going to come back at you with, well, so-and-so has made X $1 million doing this. And that's true. So that is the main aspiration with people on Twitch. They usually want to be a streamer and earn a living. Nothing wrong with that. I can totally get with that. Totally understand that. I too would like to learn how to monetize these platforms and make money from it. And we're gonna get into that. I'm gonna teach you that. Okay. We're gonna go a little bit into it. So this is what people want to do on Twitch. Now let's move on to Facebook. Facebook, you can also live stream. But it's also a social media platform, meaning it has all of the things that you can do on social media. You can post. You can put up pictures. You can put up video. And you can live stream. You can do all these things on Facebook. The only thing you can do on Twitch, is live stream. Now, can you type in your chat to your chat? Yes, but it's slow and it defeats the whole purpose. And once your live stream is over on Twitch, it's over. That's pretty much where the content ends. Okay? It's gone. It's over. That's it. Facebook kind of has the same problem. They have something called a feed. So when you type a text post, or put up a picture, or put up a video, it goes into the feed. And the feed can be scrolled through. And once it's gone, it goes into the feed, it's there for a little while, and then it disappears. Now, here's the argument I have all the time with people. Yeah, Jory, but if you go to my page, you can find that. Absolutely. Here's the thing. You need to know what you're looking for to be able to get back to that content. Okay? So in other words, if I was to take this exact content, this exact video, and post it on my Facebook page, it'll hit a certain number of people in the audience, but once it gets to that tipping point, it's going to just go away into the feed and disappear. And unless you know what you're looking for, you have to scroll through all of my videos to find this so that you can then watch it. Facebook is not going to advertise it for free, because we're going to talk about that. They're not going to advertise it for free and push it in front of an audience. They're going to, it's going to go in the feed, it's going to go in the feed for a little while, and then it's gone. And that's just the nature of it. Okay. Let's now move on to Instagram. And I'm also going to go into the cons of each one of these. I just want to go over what some of these have, or each one of these have, and then we're going to go into the cons. So now Instagram. You can make posts as well. You can put up pictures. You can now put up video. And you can live stream. Just like Facebook. Why? Well, because Facebook has learned what works, so they transpose over what works on Facebook and they bring it on over to Instagram. So you can do all the same things, but it has the exact same problem that Facebook has. It has an even faster feed. So what you do today goes into a feed, and that's gone tomorrow. So whatever you post today shows up today, but it's gone the next day. But, because this is the argument I have all the time too. Yeah, but Joy, if you go into my page on Instagram, you can find the video, the post. That's correct. You absolutely can. But you need to know what you're looking for. And most people are not doing it that way. They're looking through the feed. And the same thing that goes on with this. Once this thing is gone, it's gone. Instagram is not going to turn around and say, hey, so-and-so, I know you have an interest about cars. And we have X amount of things about cars. And they do that. But it's they're usually going to show you what's happening now on Instagram. Not what happened 6 months ago on Instagram. Okay? I want to make that super, super clear. Because I get this all the time. Oh, Joy, that's not true. And da-da-da-da. And I do this. And yeah. I get it. I understand. I have nothing against Instagram. I use Instagram. I help my students and clients with Instagram. But I want to make it very clear to them, and I'm going to say the same thing to you. You need to have a good understanding of how it works, and you're probably going to have a team of people help you, because you need to be posting a lot on Instagram, and we're going to get into that. Okay. And then finally we have YouTube. Now, what can you do on YouTube? Well, of course you can do video. Absolutely can do video. But you can also live stream. Now, you can also make a post to you, what they call your community. But in order to be able to post to your community, you have to hit a certain threshold of subscribers to unlock the ability to get the community tab so that you can make a post on YouTube. But YouTube's primary strength is video, both recorded video on demand and live stream. They do both of those very, very well. So out of the platforms I've just told you about, Twitch, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, what they all have in common, every single one, they all use video and they all love video. Here's what I mean. We're going to take Facebook as an example, but Facebook and Instagram pretty much follow the same rule as this, and so do most other social media platforms that let you do this exact same thing. So here's what I mean. You can make a text post. So you just type whatever you want and hit enter. No picture, no video, just a text post. That'll go into the feed. Then you can make a picture post. Now with a picture post, you can also type text and add your picture, hit enter. That goes into the feed. Then you have video. Video can also be accompanied with text, and that goes into the feed. And then finally, you have the live streaming ability, which you can also type some text, and that goes into the feed. Now, out of the information I just described, the one that gets the highest ranking on both Facebook and Instagram is live streaming. They love live streaming, but live streaming is a form of video. So what I'm trying to get across is they like video. I talk a lot about video. There's a reason why I talk a lot about video, because when you get right down to it with these social media platforms, I don't care what they name themselves, but they all seem to have one thing in common, and that is they love video. Their trick is to try to get you to produce the video and not realize what you're really doing. They know you're using your camera and your phone, but they don't go too much into the editing part of it and all the other things that go into the lighting and the microphone. But anyway, they like video. So now let's go into the cons. This is going to be interesting. And then I'm going to go, after we go into the cons, I'm going to lay out some strategies for you so that you can go ahead and learn how to use social media in 2021 to your advantage. This is going to be fun. This is where the real magic comes in. Okay. So what is another con? And it's the biggest con on Twitch. I have this argument all the time with people, but once they realize what's going on, I finally get them to come on over to my side. So what's another con? Another con is they have absolutely no discovery on that platform whatsoever. What I mean is there's no algorithm that's going to push you out to an audience. So now bear with me, because like I said, I've been on Twitch. I still am on Twitch because I can't talk about these platforms unless I'm on them. So I know firsthand how Twitch works because I'm on Twitch. I see how it works. So here's what I mean. If you want to be, let's take Fortnite, because just about everybody, whether you play video games or not, knows about Fortnite. If you want to be a streamer, one of the top streamers, or just a streamer with Fortnite, now your ambition is to be a top streamer, but if you want to be a top streamer, you are going to get lumped in with all the other streamers doing Fortnite. And it's very, very, very rare that they're going to put your content in front of an audience. What Twitch usually does is they usually will take their top people and promote them, and then everybody else is just kind of there. Oh, here's something else that I didn't go over. Let me do this quickly with each one of these platforms, just in case you didn't know. Twitch is owned, every one of these companies, every one of these platforms is owned by big corporations. So Twitch is owned by Amazon, in case you didn't know that. They're owned by Amazon. So let me write that down. Owned by Amazon. That's who owns Twitch. So who owns Facebook? Facebook. Who owns Instagram? Facebook. Now the last one's interesting. Who owns YouTube? Well, YouTube is owned by Google. Now, what makes that really interesting and really, really powerful is YouTube being owned by Google. Google is the #1 search engine in the world. Period. Full stop. That makes YouTube the number 2 search engine in the world, period. Full stop. Let that sink in. Because all the other ones don't have this kind of backing behind them. So in other words, you cannot go into Twitch or Facebook or Instagram and search a topic and get as good of results that are laser targeted for what you really are looking for as you can in Google and YouTube. Oh, my phone thinks I'm asking it questions. Let me just turn it off. So having said that, I'll give an example. If you go to Facebook and say how to learn how to use the Canon M50, you're going to get some results from that returned to you, but they're not going to be very, very good results. They're not going to be laser targeted. You're probably really not going to learn much about it. You'll find some things about it, but it's not really going to be really great content. Instagram's going to be the same exact way. Twitch is going to give you nothing. It's not even going to, there's no even way to search for it on Twitch. You can't search for anything on Twitch like that. But YouTube, you can type that exact phrase and it'll spit back to you hundreds of results. But what's really great is they curate the results for you. The top 10 results are going to be the most relevant and the most helpful. Now, here's the real secret with YouTube. Let me write this down. One of its main strengths. Do I have strengths up there? I don't. Okay. Your content lives forever on YouTube. Let me say that again. Your content lives forever on YouTube. Now you say to yourself, so what, Jory? I don't care. What difference does that make? Well, it makes a huge, huge difference, especially if you are trying to use social media in 2021 to your advantage. I will give you an example. Let's say you make a video on how to use the Canon M50. Well, why would you make a video on how to use the Canon M50? And we're just using the Canon as an example. You can do this just about anything. But I'm going to give you this exact example. You make a video on how to use the Canon M50 because there are people searching for that exact phrase, how to use it as a webcam, for example. And then what you do in that video is you teach them how to use the camera as a webcam. But then what you can also do is put an affiliate link in the description and say, hey, if you want to buy the exact lens that I'm using with the exact tripod that I'm using and the exact NDI filter I'm using, and you may not know what that is, but you see there are things that you need to go along with this camera. You can say the links are down below. And what happens is if they click that affiliate link, you now get a part of the sales and you earn some money. Here's the other great thing that you can do with YouTube. If you get into the YouTube, or rather the Google, it's called the Google Partner Program, or the YouTube Partner Program. If you get into the Partner Program with YouTube, which I'm in, what'll happen is they will share a part of the ad revenue with you, which also means, in a nutshell, you get paid to make videos. So we all know that YouTube places ads, and they place ads either in the front of the video, during the video, and at the end of the video. Right? This is how they make their money. This is how they make their money. But if you hit a certain threshold with them, which is 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time, you are eligible to then be invited into the Google/YouTube Partner Program. That's how you can make money with YouTube. And let me just, my phone keeps thinking that I'm asking it questions, so it keeps asking me, how can I help you? How can I help you? It's the problem with technology. All the other platforms don't do that, except for now, Facebook. Facebook now has the ability, since last year, they were, or actually, no, I'm sorry, 2019, they now will pay you for videos as well with ads as well, just in case you didn't know that. But as of my testing with it, it's still not as powerful as YouTube. Okay, let me give you an example and we're going to talk about Twitch and YouTube. Tell you just how powerful their ad system is for earning money. Because this is one of the things that I'm a huge proponent of with. Why make videos and not get any kind of results out of it? I believe that you should be making content and getting paid to make the content and getting results from that content. So I mean, you should be getting paid that you made the video, and it should be doing something for you. In other words, you getting people to take the actions that you want. For example, download this, sign up for my newsletter, go click my affiliate links, that kind of thing. Okay? That's just how I feel you should do it. You should use social media to your advantage. Okay, so I have a colleague that has been on Twitch since 2016. And after speaking with him, what I found out from him was he told me and showed me his stats. I'm not going to mention his name, but he showed me his stats and showed me where he has made more money in 1 month with the YouTube partner program than he has with the entire time with the Twitch partner program with their ad system. Let me say that again. He's made more money in 30 days with the YouTube partner program than he has since 2016. If you take all of his earnings from 2016, 17, 18, 19, and 20, 2020, and probably 2021 is probably going to do the same thing. But as of 2016 to 2020, he's made more money in just 1 month on YouTube's partner program than he has with Twitch the entire time. Think about that. Because I know one of the things that people like to talk about is they like to talk about how there is no longer, gone are the days when you can go ahead and make money. Like, for example, I'm going to use PewDiePie as a great example. They say you can't do that anymore. There's no longer ever going to be this streamer that makes the same kind of money that PewDiePie has. And whereas that is true, that doesn't mean you cannot earn a good living. You're just not going to make what he was making at one time. No one's ever going to do that again. But it doesn't mean that you can't make and earn money on YouTube. I know plenty of people that make a really good living online with YouTube. And I teach this kind of thing to my clients and my students. And I'm going to give you some examples of how you can do that exact same thing in this masterclass. All right. So we've talked about Twitch. We talked about Facebook. We talked about Instagram. We talked about YouTube. Now let me just get my notes back up on the screen so I can see what I'm doing. Talk a little bit more about this. Okay. So we talked about Twitch, live streaming, owned by Amazon, strength, free to join, cons, you need equipment, lighting, mics, computers, software to live stream. It's got a kind of a learning curve, so it's not just instant. You just don't instantly start doing these things. You need all these things in place to start live streaming on Twitch. And by the way, in case you didn't know, once you start live streaming, it's not as easy as you think. Okay, because here, let me give you a little secret, because this is something I teach and coach my clients and my students too. When you are live streaming, and I'm going to tailor this for Twitch. When you are live streaming on Twitch, you are providing entertainment. And you're doing it in a couple different ways. You could be really bad at the game, but if you're just you have a really good personality and you're funny, that's a form of entertainment. People will go online just to watch you because you are funny. You might suck at the game, but you're funny. So they're coming to watch you because you're funny. And then we have the anomalies, the unicorns in the system, like Shroud. Shroud, in my opinion, is a government experiment that escaped and is now able to live stream. That guy, I've seen him. He can take any multiplayer shooting game, first-person shooter game, and he's just a god at it. So what you're going to Shroud for is his crack shooting ability, how he can one-shot from yards away. That just should be an impossible shot. That's what he can do. So, having explained that, very few people that go on and like do something. And then if they're doing something, you're watching them not to learn how to do it, but for the entertainment value. I'm not saying you can't learn on Twitch, but that's what you're going on for. Now, one of the things that Twitch does really well, I have to give them credit with this, is, again, I explained to you, Twitch is owned by Amazon. And Amazon has a really good ecosystem with their economy. They have trained their audience that, hey, if you like the creator and you want to support them, you can give them something called bits. What are bits? Well, here in the US, every 1 bit is equivalent to 1 penny. So in essence, you're giving them money. But what you're doing is you have to buy the bits from Amazon, and then you can then give the bits to your favorite streamer. But the ecosystem is in place where they have now taught their audience, like the streamer, show it by giving them bits. And when you give them bits, different things can happen. You can have their name come up on the screen. The streamer might give them a shout out. They get rewarded for it, usually in some kind of way on the screen. Facebook does the same thing. You can now live stream on Facebook. In my opinion, if I had to pick a platform to stream on, what I at the moment, if I was a gamer, who I like, the two that I have like a really hard time with, going which one do I want? I like Facebook gaming, and YouTube also has it as well. But what YouTube is missing is the whole social media thing going on that Facebook has. Here's what I mean. With Facebook, you have to sign up with your real name. It's your real picture. And when you're done streaming, it goes to default to your page, either your page or your profile. Not so on YouTube, and definitely not on Twitch. Twitch, you don't have this profile. You have a page, but it's not this social media thing. In other words, if I go on your Twitch profile and say, hey, what's happening? You don't see that. A notification doesn't get sent to you. You don't see that. Other ways to reach your favorite streamer? Yes, but that's not how you do it. On Twitch, you have to rely on other social media platforms to supplement what Twitch can't do. But on Facebook, you can send them a direct message. You can run on their page. You can tag them in the message. They're going to get it. I wish YouTube would do something like that. The thing with YouTube is all YouTube needs to do is flip a switch, and they would just rule, in my opinion. They would just destroy all the other platforms for live streaming. They would totally take over Twitch. They just got to do a little tweak, and I'm waiting for the day they do it, because hear me when I say this. They know. They're just, I know they're waiting. They're just waiting to do it. Okay, so now let's move on to Instagram with that. Can you live stream on there? Yes, but you can't use your computer. Everything has to be done on a mobile device. You cannot do it any other way but on a mobile device. Their API system is locked down. You can't do it any other way but on your mobile device. However, that makes it easy for most people, because most people in this world, I don't care where you live in the world, I don't care how much you make, you probably have a smartphone. So the one great thing with Instagram is If you've got a smartphone, you can live stream, you can reach an audience, you can go ahead and aim that camera at you. It's the only piece of equipment you need. And what's really, really cool these days is cell phones have built into them really great cameras now and excellent microphones. So I teach a lot of my students that that's really all you need. If depending on what model phone you have, whether it be Apple or Android, depending on the model, you're set. You can start live streaming. Just pick up your phone. Now, I teach that you should use a few other things like lighting. Lighting's huge. And I teach that you should use an external microphone because sound makes up 50% of video. Audio is much more important than video. Now, video is important. Here's what I mean. You will sit and watch a really bad video if it's got good audio, but you will not watch a 4K pristine video with terrible sound. You won't. I've tested it. I know. So Instagram, you can live stream. You just can't do games on there. Okay, it's made for you. It's usually used for like personal branding channels. They do excellent on Instagram with that, but again, it's a lot of work. Then finally, we come down again to YouTube. Can you do live streaming on YouTube? Absolutely. Can you do it for gaming? Absolutely. Can you do it for personal branding channels? Absolutely. Can you use it for just about any one of your channels on YouTube? Yes. But again, it goes back to their number one strength. What's their number one strength? Your content lives forever. I mean, there is an algorithm behind it that if you put in all the metadata into YouTube, your video, because what I love about live streaming, my most favorite thing with live streaming is when you're done, it gets turned into a regular video. And now it's a video on demand. So if you missed the live stream, no problem. YouTube does a really good job of going ahead and processing that video and makes it now a video on demand. On demand. Facebook does the same thing. So does Instagram. But the problem is, like I said, it goes into the feed. It disappears. It's hard to find on those two platforms. It's easier to find on Facebook. It's a little harder to find on Instagram, but it's easily accessible on YouTube. Twitch, it's once you're done, yes, their videos are up there for, I believe it's now, is it still 30 days? Yeah, I think it's still 30 days that when you do something, it's still there for 30 days. But it's not searchable. Okay? If you look for a certain thing, you're not going to find that particular thing. In other words, if you have a favorite streamer that plays Fortnite, that's what you know the content's going to be. But if they did something specific on a specific night in Fortnite, it's going to be really difficult for you to find that thing that they did on that specific night. And it has to be within the 30-day window. If the 30-day window passes, that's it. That content's gone. You're never going to see it again unless they do something different with it. So let's get into some of the strategies now. Okay, I want to give you some really good strategies. So, my number one strategy with Twitch, and I know this is going to sound kind of weird, but from what I have found and what I have discovered, and pulling this apart and watching some very big streamers, you need to bring an audience from somewhere else on over to Twitch. It's very, very hard for you to grow an audience on Twitch and become pretty big. I have seen, and I know people that have done it for years, that they have streamed on Twitch for 0 people or just 1 or 2. And then suddenly, after years and years and years of work of building up all their other social media platforms, and then telling those people on the other platforms to come on over to Twitch, that's how they build their audience. So I just gave you a huge secret there. I used to have a video that I used to direct people to go watch Ninja. And why I use Ninja, he's one of the very few streamers on Twitch that actually made it to the mainstream. He's been on the Ellen DeGeneres show. He's been on Samsung commercials. He made it to the mainstream. So most people know who Ninja is. But since I have done this, or since I used to do this, they took the video down. So I can't show you the video of Ninja actually saying what I'm about to say to you. But I had a video of Ninja actually saying that he didn't know this YouTube thing, because what he did was he started a channel on YouTube and he didn't really know the YouTube thing. So he handed off the work to someone else to do the whole YouTube channel. He was just making the content. But in the video, he says what gave him explosive growth on Twitch was YouTube. Now, why is that? Why do you think that is? Again, because on Twitch, there is no discoverability. But on YouTube, your content lives what? Forever, right? And it's also searchable and indexable. And here's a really good thing. If you can get high rankings on YouTube, chances are you're probably going to get those high rankings for whatever the search term is on Google too. So now you have the number 1 and number 2 search engines in the world working for you. You can't say that with Twitch. You can't say that with Facebook. And you can't say that with Instagram. So if I had to give someone advice on Twitch, the first thing I would tell them is open a YouTube account. And I know they'd say, well, why? I just explained why. Think of it this way. Twitch is just the delivery system. That's all it is. It's just a video delivery system. It happens to be the number 1 delivery system for live streaming. So if you're into live streaming, especially games, Twitch is the place to be. But like I said, the problem is you have zero discoverability. So in my opinion, what difference does it make if they're the number 1 for something if when you're done, no one's going to find you? Because if you take a look at everyone that's successful and that's really big, and you really drill down and reverse engineer what's really going on, you will discover that these people didn't become, well, some of them did become big overnight, and some of them didn't. But what they did was they took an existing audience from another platform and brought it on over to Twitch. That's how they got big. So once you see that and break it down and understand, then it makes sense to you. But that's not what you see. What you see and what you think, because this is what they imply to you, is, oh, yeah, no, just stream. Just stream for 8 to 10 to 12 to 14 hours a day. The longer you stream, the more successful you are. I'm here to tell you that's not true. Don't kill yourself streaming for 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 24-hour streams. That's not what, that most definitely is not what makes you discoverable or successful. Don't do that. So what's the strategy for Twitch? A YouTube channel. Take your best highlight. If you want, this is one way to do it. You could take your best highlighted clips of the best plays that you've done, put them on YouTube, and then make it searchable. What do I mean? Best headshots on Fortnite. Top 10 compilations of whatever of Fortnite. That's a searchable term that people are looking for. Okay? That's what I would do, and that's what I've done. And that's what I've taught my clients and students to do too. And ever since they've done that, I've had one person tell me that it 10x'd their discoverability. That they didn't understand where all these people were coming from. And that brings me to another point. It seems to be that people on Twitch, you can get them from one social media platform to come on over to another. So let's talk about Instagram. Instagram's the exact same way. It's discoverability. It has better discoverability than Twitch, but not as much as YouTube. So what's the solution? Well, I already explained to you that if you want to be on Twitch, you got to post a lot. Okay, so let me break that down because I didn't go too far into it, and I'm not going to go a deep dive into an Instagram strategy because I teach that as another course. But I will tell you this. What you see today was probably not done today. It was probably done weeks, if not months ago. And it was probably scheduled out. Here's what I mean. What you saw Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday was specifically for the top people on Instagram, was specifically curated by them, and they knew on their content calendar when that content was going to go out. And if you look at the people that are on Instagram, I don't care who it is, they're usually pointing you towards something. They're usually taking you off of Instagram to do something, to buy a product, to buy their clothes, to buy their cameras, to buy their cars, to buy their whatever it is, glasses, sunglasses. It's always something. Food, protein shakes. It's always something. They're always taking you off. So the content is made specifically in a way. It's very appealing, but it's made in a way to get you to go off of. Here's something you can all relate to. Whatever they say they are, they're into swimsuits. They're a swimsuit model, and they'll say most of them all have this one thing in common, no matter what they post. Link is in the bio. And what is the link to? It's not an Instagram address. It takes you off of Instagram to somewhere else so that they can get you to take an action. So what's a strategy I would use on Instagram, and that I do use on Instagram and my clients use on Instagram? Exact same thing. Start a YouTube channel. Why? Because the YouTube channel is searchable. Instagram is not. Let's take Facebook. Let me move down to Facebook. Another thing that Facebook, and I'm very big on Facebook. I have a very big following on Facebook on a lot of my pages. I have gotten pages over 5,000 and 10,000 followers, more than that on a lot of other things. And I know to a lot of people, they say 5,000 or 10,000 followers. That's nothing. I have 100,000. I have a couple million. And so, I'm not huge like some other people. But here's the thing. In case you didn't know it, one of the additional cons of Facebook is they are a pay-to-play network. So what does that mean? That means that, and I'm going to break this down as simply as I can because I have explained this thousands of times. So I'm going to make it real simple. If you have 100 followers on a, for example, business page, not your personal profile, and I'll explain your personal profile in a minute, but let's say you have a business page, you have 100 followers, and you make a post. I don't care what kind of post, text post, picture, video, live stream, whatever. You make a post, you hit enter. It's probably going to go out to 1 or 2 people, max. And then they wait to see if you get any kind of engagement on that. Now, depending on the type of engagement you get, then the algorithm will give you more traffic. Instagram works the same way, more or less. But if you wanted to go out to all 100 people, you have to pay them. And if you want to go out to all 100 people now, you have to pay them. So I don't know how many of you have a Facebook account, but if for those of you that do, and you have a business page, maybe you can relate with this, that it'll say, hey, Joy, this post is performing better than 90% of your other posts. And for only $5, it can reach 10,000 more people. That's why. Because think of it from Facebook's perspective. Yes, it's free to sign up. But when you open a page, when you create a Facebook page, that's for business. Because here's the other thing that I have that people have argued with me and they've paid the price. You're not supposed to talk business on your personal profile, but you can talk all the business you want on a business page, which is why it's called a Facebook business page. But what the Facebook business page does or Facebook is it signals to Facebook that you're a business. And if you're a business, when you think about a business, what first comes to mind? Well, businesses usually pay for the things that they want, correct? So if you are a business, then you have no problem paying for advertising. So they don't see what the problem is, that when you make a post and you get very little reach, when they advertise to you to put in money to get that post up to your audience, what's the problem? I mean, you are a business, right? And that's how Facebook thinks about it. Now, having said that, I have taught my clients and students how to get extreme engagement from Facebook and get their posts out there to their audience without paying for it. But I'm not going to go too deep into that because that's a whole other class in itself. But it is possible. You can do it. You can make posts go viral. But Facebook's biggest con is it's a pay-to-play network. End of story. That's how it is now. I'm sorry to burst your bubble. That's how it is. And unfortunately, Instagram is following the same suit. Because again, who owns Instagram? Facebook, right? Okay. Lastly, we're going to come on down. You see where this has all been heading now. You can kind of see which one of these platforms I kind of like the best, right? And let me explain to you the reasons why I like YouTube so much. I'm the kind of person that wants to get the most return on my investment, whatever it is. So if I spend money, I want the most return on my investment, on my money. Okay? But if I spend my time is something I can't get back. Once I spend this time, that's it. It's gone forever. There's nothing I can do about it. I'm never going to get that time back. So on YouTube, what I really like about it is, and you can check this out. You can go to my page, which is my YouTube channel, which is probably what you're on right now. And if you watch this, and you are watching this, when you're done with this, go back and look. You'll see that I only have a few videos on the page. Now, the reason is I wasn't doing things with my personal brand at the time. I have since then made changes, but I'm going to tell you the honest truth. I was using my personal page as a testing ground to see what was working on YouTube and what wasn't. And I figured out certain things, and I taught these certain things to my clients and my students, and I also used it on other YouTube channels to see if what I learned on my personal page, my personal YouTube channel, was working, that I could take it on over to another one and see if that worked there, and it did. So I was using my personal page as a testing ground, which is why there's only so many videos on there. Having said that, I have several videos that took off in search. And I'll tell you the truth. I don't know what the subscriber count is now, but whatever the I know for a fact at least 500 of those subscribers came from 2 videos. So all the subscribers and all the watch time came from 2 videos. And the videos are 2 or 3 years old. And on top of that, those videos rank high for search terms in both YouTube and Google. So one of the things that I see a lot of people neglect with YouTube, and I'm going to try not to make this a full-fledged teaching on YouTube because I start to get very passionate about it, because I feel very passionate about it. I want you to get the most bang for your buck with this. I don't want you to waste your time. I'm not saying the other platforms are not viable. They most certainly are, but you need to know what each one of them wants and how to use them. So with YouTube, here, let me tell you what YouTube wants. And this goes with all of them, but we're going to talk about YouTube right now. Think of YouTube like a narcissistic woman. She's a beautiful woman and all she cares about is herself. She's staring in a mirror and just looking at how beautiful she is, and she just wants you to talk about her. That's exactly what's going on. And here's why. YouTube wants to keep people watching YouTube. Why? Because if YouTube can keep people watching YouTube videos, then they can put ads in front of those YouTube videos, and then they can put ads in front of the YouTube videos. They make money. That's their business model. So your job is to make really good content that YouTube says, hey, you know what? You do a really good job of keeping people watching YouTube. So you know what? We're going to do you a favor, and we're going to return the favor by putting your video in front of more and more and more and more people. But here's where I'm a very big proponent of, and I teach this to my students now and my clients. Why make videos and not get paid for it? What if you can start from the beginning and get paid for it? What if you could start right from the get-go with YouTube and you get accepted in their partner program and you start earning money from that point on for every single video that you put out? That would be a game changer for some people, because for a lot of people, I've seen people that have had, I spoke to a lawyer she started her page in 2006, didn't do anything with it. And then she blew up in 60 to 90 days. And now she's got a really popular YouTube channel. But she's had it since 2006. And I believe now she's just starting to get into the YouTube partner program. But now she's starting to make money off of this. What if instead I could show you a way to start off from the get-go and in less than 30 days get approved into the YouTube partner program, so that from then on you can start earning money for every single video you make? Would that make a difference to you? I hope so, because I know it's made differences for a lot of my clients and a lot of my students. And this is the whole reason I'm doing this. I'm trying to show you with each one of these platforms, Twitch, Facebook, Instagram, that if you want to be big on them, you want them to succeed and you want them to work, my suggestion is to use something like YouTube so that your information then becomes indexable and searchable. You can point them back to your Facebook page. You can point them back to your Instagram page. You can point them back to your Twitch page. But the only way they're going to find you is through Google and YouTube. Why? Because I just said Google owns YouTube, and Google is the #1 search engine on the planet, which makes YouTube #2. So, having said that, my strategy with any of them is to play the strengths of YouTube to get you to the other ones, if I use the other ones. Because here's the thing. If you have a budget and you have money, then it doesn't matter. You can go to any one of these platforms, spend money on their advertising platform, get your videos, your posts in front of your audience, and you're done. It takes no time, no learning curve, nothing. You just give them money. The problem is you have to give them money, and you're probably going to have to give them a lot of money. But what if you don't have the money? What if you don't have the ability to say, well, here's $10,000 a month to get this out there, to reach the people that are out there that need you, that want your kind of information? Because I have to tell you, there are people out there that are waiting for you. You're the person. They don't know who you are yet, but you're the person that has the information that they want. They want the information from you. They like you. They're just waiting for you to come out there. So you're doing a disservice to people if you are not putting what you know out there for people to find it. Now, I didn't say you shouldn't be paid for your information. You most definitely should be compensated for what you're doing. I'm trying to show you how to get compensated. And one of the ways you can get compensated out of all these platforms, the one that pays the easiest and seems to be paying the most right now is YouTube. Yes, Facebook has a service too, a partner program too. I forget what they call it because I'm in it, but I forget what they call it. But they will pay you for your videos too, but they don't seem to pay the same way as YouTube does. So if it was me, and I'll tell you the truth, I do a lot of things on YouTube. Now, I've done it on all the platforms. I've played with Twitch, I played with Instagram, I played with Facebook, and I play with YouTube. That's just me. I like to tinker and play with the algorithm and see what works and what doesn't. And I try to be what's called social media platform agnostic, meaning I don't care which one it is. I don't have an allegiance with any one of them. I'm not loyal to X, Y, and Z for this or that. What I am loyal to is whoever gives me the best return on investment is the one I'm going to stick with. And at this current time, it seems to be that YouTube is the one that gives everyone the best bang for their buck. So what I'm trying to get across to you is if you are an aspiring Twitch streamer and you want to be big on Twitch, you got to open a YouTube channel, because the discoverability on Twitch is zero. No one's going to find you, but they'll find you on YouTube, and then you could bring them on over to your Twitch channel. If you are an up and coming influencer on Instagram, I would start a YouTube channel so that you're searchable, and then you can bring them on back to your Instagram profile. And in case you didn't know, too, there is a influencer program on Facebook. Facebook has a lot of hidden things. You have to hit a certain amount of likes on your page before they'll open up a whole new dashboard of services that you don't even know are available. And I'll have to make another video about that. But suffice it to say that they have an influencer program for you. And let me just tell you quickly, how would you like to wake up in the morning and have Facebook say, "Good morning, Jory. Here are 25 companies that would like to work with you. And here's what they're willing to pay you to do what you do already. Which one of these companies would you like to work with?" I know no one's ever talked about that before, but that's part of Facebook. But you see, most people don't like Facebook. They like Instagram. My point to you is these services are out there. I want you to get the most bang for your buck, the most return on investment. So why not use these platforms the way that they should be used? Let me just nail this down with you simply for all the platforms. All the platforms like themselves. They don't like other platforms. And all the platforms want to keep you on their platform. Facebook doesn't like YouTube. YouTube doesn't like Facebook. Instagram doesn't like Twitch or Facebook or YouTube. None of them like each other. They're all beautiful, narcissistic women that only think that each one of them is the most beautiful woman in the world and only want you to look at them, no other woman. And when you get that, you understand where they're going from. And if you understand that, then you can understand what each one of them wants. And if you give each one of them what they want, they in turn will give you what you want. Now that I've broken that down, you have now learned the secret. I've given you the keys on how to use social media in 2021 and beyond. Now, again, I promised to give you everything that I wrote down and some of the things that I was talking about, so you didn't have to take notes. If you want that information, I'll leave a link down in the description where you can get that for free. Thank you so much for being with me. I appreciate it, and I will see you in the next video.